That way.
So I had to click on live because it'll kick you out of Facebook. So my apologies. So
no, that's all right.
No worries.
So we're live right now. So thank you for tuning in to Conversations with Dee. I have my special guest, 80 Empire.
We made it.
We made it.
Dee, I love your hat.
Thank you. So how are y'all doing?
We're good, man. We're good. Just
good.
Surviving this new weird world.
Every day feels like Groundhog Day.
Are y'all twins?
No,
we're 2 years.
Okay.
2 years.
Okay. Okay.
But
I'm 20. He's 18.
Gotcha.
I'm the nicer brother.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So I know that y'all are from one of my favorite places, Canada, whatnot. So how did it all start for y'all?
I think with us, man, we were very lucky that our parents our parents are Italian immigrants, but they just love Black music. So growing up, they just exposed us to such a vast variety of incredible music from James Brown. We know you're from Michigan. You just called us. So, the Detroit sound, obviously the Michigan sound with Motown and then Stax Records and then all the funk and then it just blossomed from there. And then obviously like other types of music too, like jazz, and growing up in Toronto, we're so heavily influenced by West Indian culture, Trinidadian, Guyanese, Jamaican culture. So, and then Latino culture as well. So it's all of these things that kind of shaped us musically. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So you said a lot, like in terms of, like, I remember last time I was in Canada, that was like maybe in high school, like 03, 04. And I remember I had like this thick milkshake and it was so good. And it tastes way better than the ones here. It was so good. Somebody was like, is that really true? I say, yeah, it tastes better. I don't know why, but it was good. And I remember going to, is it Wheels Inn, I think?
Wheels Inn.
Is that in Toronto?
Yeah, it's the hotel amusement park thing.
Oh, Canada's Wonderland?
Canada's Wonderland?
It's my mom took me there. What is it called? I forget.
CNE, was it like
maybe CNE. Do you remember where you went? Did you go to Toronto?
It was on the outskirts. Was it Chadwick? Is it Chadwick or something?
Oh, Chadwick, probably.
Hold on. Is it? I think this. What is it called? Indoor water slide. I had an indoor water slide in Canada.
Maybe Niagara Falls.
Great Wolf Lodge.
It might have been Niagara Falls, but Great Wolf probably.
I forgot what it was called. It was some. I remember we went there and it was really fun.
Did you go through Windsor? Like, did you go to the Detroit?
I think it was. I'm trying to. Oh Lord,
it might have been that one.
Chadwick and stuff there is near like Chadwick.
Yeah, I might have had the name wrong. I'm trying to think what it. Oh, well, it'll come to me in a minute.
I think I was a lifeguard back then there.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It was something, but no. So I know that. Okay, for instance, when I think of like the whole the rapper singer thing or whatnot, I think of the Drakes, I think of the Ja Rules, the Eminems, the Nicki Minaj, even Cardi B's doing a little bit, and then the late great Nate Dogg. But I also remember another one, Snow.
Yes.
Yeah, y'all gave me that vibe. Like literally, when I was listening, I was like, Snow, the gentleman. So for everybody who may not remember Snow, he's the gentleman that came out with Informer.
Yep.
Yeah, and so that's
and you know what he just said?
That is
yeah.
He just had a resurgence because they did a remix with
Daddy Yankee.
Yeah,
they had a big.
What do they call it? They don't call it in front.
It was, I forget what it was called, but Snow was on it on a verse, and they reused.
They used the melody, like
they used the melody,
something like Bailando.
Yeah, and that was like what, 2 years ago now.
Yeah,
I think the summer before the
big tune.
The world went to the pandemic. So
big tune, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that, because he had the whole fusion, dance hall, the reggae thing going on, and hip hop. And so when I was listening to I noticed you had like a track with Jada Kiss, and then you got the track with John Connor from Flint, Michigan. I'm like, okay,
John.
Okay.
Yep. We have real connection, man, in Michigan and Detroit specifically. Like our first set of relatives on my mom's side of the family that came from Italy to North America. Our first great aunt and uncle and our cousins, who are my mom's first cousins, they moved to Detroit. You know, and then after, you know, just before the Vietnam War and stuff, they're like, listen, we escaped. We left Italy because we lived through World War II. We can't have our sons now go through the Vietnam War. So they came to then to Canada. But then one of our cousins, you know, ended up going back and was a district attorney in Palm Beach County for years and years. But anyway, but then rewind then though back to Detroit in 2011. Obi Trice put out his third single called Bottoms Up, and we did the first single called Battle Cry. We weren't called it back then. On the credits on the album, it says my name and Luke's name, but like Eminem was on that album. And then 2 years ago, a movie was done by a film company in Detroit called Kaiba Films. They're originally from India, but they're in the car industry, but they've gotten to the film world. We did a record for that with Obi Trice and Swifty McVeigh from D12 called Phony on the Devil's Night soundtrack. So we came to Orion, Michigan. Is it Orion?
Novi? No, we went Novi.
Novi, Michigan.
Novi. Yeah, Novi.
We went to Novi
for the premiere.
For the premiere and connected with Swifty, and then a year later we have one project out last year that came out, and then we have a second album that we just finished that has a good 22, 23 tracks with Swifty. So we have a connection there, and we did a track with Kid Vicious, who's the younger brother of Royce the 5'9", the Montgomery Boys. So there's a deep connection. Laz, who's originally from Detroit, Dr. Laz
is also a rapper.
So we have a connection with Detroit.
We love Detroit, man. We can't wait until this damn COVID is over so we can come back to Detroit, because even with Swifty right now, we're doing a bunch of videos. We don't know when we're going to drop this album with them. It's a joint album, Grey Roses, but we're doing videos, but we're shooting our parts here, and they're shooting their parts in Detroit. Like they're going to shoot their parts on 7 Mile, where Actually, we did we have a record with Trick as well. I mean, and Swifty, and like Trick is, you know, he's like the godfather, man, of Detroit. You know, Trick. So yeah, man, we've you know,
it's only a 4.5 hour drive, 4.5, 5 hour drive, maybe.
Yeah.
From where we are, because we're in Niagara area, so you kind of got to go around.
Shout out to the 313, the 817. You know,
I'm 810.
810, that's it.
Flint, Michigan, but yeah.
You know, we love Michigan.
So tell me about that Juno, the Juno Award.
Yeah, Luke, do you want to?
Yeah, we did. There's an artist out here called Maestro Fresh West, and shout out to Stro, and he's like the godfather of hip hop for Canada. He's the reason why the Junos, which is our Canadian Grammys, why there's a hip hop category, and you know, he's been doing it a long time, and he still puts out some great projects. And years back, maybe 7-8 years ago now, we did a couple of projects with him. One of them was called Orchestrated Noise, which we were the executive producers on that. And then we produced and co-produced at least 8 or 9 songs on that album. And Adrian did a lot of vocal stuff too on other tracks that we didn't physically produce, but we also did an EP, and then those got nominated for Juno. So it was cool, you know, kind of as a kid growing up, you know, listening to somebody you admire and you love as a fan, and then you fast forward, you know, years and years later, and now that person is in your house breaking bread,
and you're nominated for
music
you did
for music, and your name is in there as, you know, executive producers of somebody that when you were in elementary school you were like you were dancing to, you were bopping to, and you know, and now you're you know, your family, your friends, your family, you're putting out projects with them. So it's cool. It was a cool thing.
So how did loyalty come into place?
Yeah, well, with that record, Luke had the beat, and it was smooth, man. And so like I just started, you know, like, I've got a lot of time to reflect, fucking road. Like I don't know, it just came to me once I heard the beat. And then we just thought, loyalty is royal, because we live in such a day and age where people express their love for you through a DM. It's so impersonal, through a text, a WhatsApp message. Gone are the days where people like we're old school, so we're cut from a different cloth, where we show we love someone by our actions, not by words, because words don't mean anything. So we
live in a world of emojis now and hashtags, rather than how you really treat somebody is how. So
we're like, that's what we're just feeling. Loyalty is royal, because we're the type of cats where it's just like, if we're friends with you, we're really gonna go in for you. Like, D, if we're friends and like, you come here, like, we're gonna show you around. We're not saying that to be nice because we're on your program. Like, it's the real facts. Like, if you came to Toronto, if you came to Niagara Falls, Niagara on the Lake, we're like, listen, man, let's pick a day and we'll show you around. And if there's time, you come hang out in the studio. But like, we mean that stuff. And so for us, it's just like, we have high expectations of people, and people are not always reciprocal. So loyalty is royal. And then we just thought, we've always really liked John. So Lucas just hit up John. We're like, yo, man, we have this track. And then,
and what I love about John is we've our paths musically have kind of almost, we talked about it on the phone with him when we were doing this track, how parallel they are, signed with the big wigs, he was signed with Dr. Dre and Aftermath. We've had signings with Universal Music and various A-lister companies, and you sit around. Just because you're with the quote unquote what they deem as the top dogs doesn't necessarily mean that they're working on your behalf, or they're gonna do what you hope. So going back to being independent and kind of being creating our own destiny and being in charge of our own journey and our own path. John's doing that right now, so it was a great relationship there and a great bond musically. And he just, that second verse, I even wrote him. I said, John, can you do a little bit of that? Give me a little bit of that, and he goes, man, the track just spoke for itself. So, and then hearing Adrian's verse, the first verse, obviously the chorus, but he was like, no, I gotta come with something dope.
And I think, not to toot our own horn, but I think there's also a talent, because obviously we're singer-songwriter, like I'm singing on that record, Luke's doing the physical production, but I think there's also a talent in, like, even with our Legacy album, like picking the right, comparing artists to chess pieces. So putting the right chess pieces on the right squares, and the squares represent the various songs. The whole chessboard is the album or the LP, and all this various squares are the songs. And so, like, John, we just thought John, and I think John has, like what Lucas said, he's gone through a parallel journey so we're like, we also want to pick people that when they hear the songs, they're going to do the song justice, but they can relate with it and relate to it. And that's a talent, being able to pick the right people. Like, if we would have picked somebody else, loyalty is royal,
it might not have worked.
It might have not, So, yeah.
So that I noticed, because like when I was listening to it, I was looking at the little cadences and bars. I'm like, okay, that definitely flows together.
Yeah.
So when you write, do you like typically listen to the track first or and say, okay, I'm gonna put the lyrics to it, or do you already have the lyrics written out?
It's
kind of a 50-50.
50-50. Like with that, with the loyalty is royal. Luke had the beat, bam. And then I came in and just like immediately na 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 na, like that, just that na 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 na, like that melody just came. And then many times, like, I'll write it, but to be honest, because we come from like performing on stage, I'm like, Luke,
it's improvised.
Like I don't know if I don't want to like unplug the computer, but the vocal booths on this side, like, yo, man, just put it in, go run it. And then I'll just like freestyle things. I'll freestyle it because you don't want to lose the melody. And yeah, we could, we record voice notes, but that's often how we do it. But then sometimes, like, we never put out the record. We just put an Instagram video to it, a live version.
Which one?
We have this record called The Teacher and the Student.
Oh, yeah.
That we wrote from the perspective of an indigenous child or like a native kid, and his teacher sitting in front of him saying like, yo, this is your history, and him going like, well, history's all white people, man. That's not my history. Like, my history's in the land of North America. So I just had that melody. I wrote the whole thing, and then came, and then Lucas heard what I was doing melodically,
and then added the chords. And
he just did the chords, and I'm like, it fit perfectly. So yeah, man, we bounced back. But I'd say probably, 8 times out of 10, 7 times out of 10, Luke's got a dope beat, and then I come, and then, and then it's like natural selection. We pick the ones we think that we can rock to and make sense with what we're doing at the time.
And what would you describe like your whole style as?
I think our style, man, is just our style is just it's 80 Empire style, like it's Gladiator. Like we have been influenced by so much, but I don't think it necessarily, like, there's drips and drabs that, okay, I could hear that influence there. I could hear that influence there. But I think really our goal, and I think that we're achieving it, we hope that we're achieving it, we would love to be in the same, we would love to be sitting in the same, VIP section as the Neptunes, as Timbaland, as Swiss Beats, as Dr. Dre. And I feel like we're really carving that out, because those guys had their distinct sound. Like, the Dungeon family from Atlanta. The Jay Dilla sound. The Dre sound. So we're trying to do the same, that people are like, oh shit, it's those Retza boys, man. It's 80 Empire. Like, okay, they mix singing with rapping with this and that.
A little bit of boom bap, a little bit of trappy elements, like, the Loyalty is Royal has that trap element, but I'm a keyboard player, so I'm playing soulful keys, but then adding that trappy kind of drum to it, but adding that jazz, that element that we grew up listening to, and the soul of it all. That's so fusing all those sounds. Yeah.
By the way, I love the questions you're asking us.
Thank you.
Some different questions we've never been asked.
Yeah.
So, like, speaking of that, because you said something about the whole mixing with the tracks or whatnot, it's kind of like a similar, well, not similar, but you know how with New Jack Swing came out, they introduced the hip hop mixed and intertwined to the R&B. So like I get what you're saying. Yeah. So like when you come up with, how do you come up with your cadences and your bars? Like for all, I know, like in general, like what's the process?
Yeah, like I guess it just it all depends. Like if it's a fast beat, then it just or a slow beat. Like, do you have the keyboard on? Like, if you like,
I don't.
It's not on. I was gonna say, but it just man. It's like really, it's a feeling. It's a feeling, and some things you feel straight rap, and I'm moving out so he can. Some things it's just a straight rap. Sorry, you're seeing our things.
You're fine.
Some it's a straight rap. Some of it is singing, and it all depends on the beat.
Because I noticed that in your tracks, I was like, some of it is the rap, and then some of it is the singing. And then another person that put me into mind was Tony Sunshine. With Terror
Squad, Fat
Joe, yeah.
Luke, play a little bit of the hardcore record. So we have a record coming out. We're working on another album. Well, we got a lot of projects. Shout out to RX in the Bay, Ray Shulman. We got a dope album coming out with him called Life After Life. But the first, we say first official single. It's really second
track, and you can just,
what's the?
Okay.
He's put me on the spot because I don't even know what beat he's gonna play.
Yeah, I'll play. Okay. I'll just play something. See what this is. Yeah, I'll play this.
Lower them. Can you hear that through the?
Yeah, that's loud. It's loud. It's good. Yeah.
So, hey, why we on the conversation? Yeah, do the thing, we're whipping and we're doing it. Hey, conversation. Conversations with D. When I want it, want it, down. So I might not be even saying it. Put it a little more. I might not be saying any words, but it's just that melody, like. You know we swerving and no wrapped up like a turban. I'm doing this thing in a black Suburban. You know that she asking me questions the right direction. I'm pulling up the 810 section. And yo, my brother, he controlling the beat. You know we repping for the 313 street. Gladiator to the death. Until my mama take up the casket, I'm doing that. Click clack it, they be making a racket. And yo, I wear the shield and the crest. Always repping the best. These homies taking it, you know, and then boom. So it's like freestyling. But then,
I hear something in that. I hear something.
Yeah.
I got 5 on. I kind of hear it a little bit.
Yeah,
It's giving me that. It's giving me that. Yeah.
Hey, but yeah, man, and then that's how we'll do it. And so
that was dope.
Thank you. But half the stuff makes sense. But you know, but
it's through that you, like you said, like you
and he,
D, you understand
and he
the words.
Sincerely put me on like
that beat you haven't. I think you heard it once.
That beat I heard once, like 2 months ago or something.
But D, you nailed the word cadence. Like in there, there was a few things that I liked that went, okay, if he was recording that, then we'll go back to those parts and go, okay, do that little bit again, and then now write to that bit, and then expand on that cadence and see where it takes us, and and then I'll might add some more. It's like the line is there, but then okay, this part we need to break it down. I need to add some strings and some live stuff. Sometimes certain tracks need a live bass. Where I'll play something on keyboards and then we say, no, that one needs a live bass player because you need that.
But now I'm just thinking because that blum, 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 blum. So I might do something like my voice is like real sharp, man. But like, she's sending me a message on the DM. I can't trust mommy, no, I'm a man. No. We having conversations. Because you
could add some violin to it too.
Yeah.
Or either like
some talk box on there and we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So speaking of, okay, so we got the East, the West, the Midwest, and the South rappers. Who are all of your favorites from the Midwest, the West Coast, the South, the East Coast?
I think
why don't you pick a coast? I'll pick a territory.
If I'm gonna go West Coast, I have a bunch, but probably top
Crooked Eye.
Crooked Eye is top, and not just because we're friends with Crook, and he blessed us with the Take It Back record, and we're working on some more stuff with Crook, but definitely Crook is top. Bishop Lamont, another juggernaut, friend as well. Bucket list for us would be Snoop. I mean, Snoop is the definition of cool. Yeah. Snoop could read the phone book and it would sound cool. He could do the alphabet and that shit would sound cool. Like it's
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Yeah. From the Bay, like Yuck, E40, RX is our homie.
RX, shout out to RX.
But I think for West,
Nate Dogg, rest in peace.
Yeah, as a singer like Nate, but even vocally, like Dub
Game,
like Dub C for me, like Dub C,
the Game MC8.
Yeah.
There's like when you hear MC8. Actually, we have a record. I mean, we can't say whose album, but some homies, hollered at us for an album they're working on. They're like, "Yo, we need a hook with this record for MC8." So we did, right when we hear the beat, the thing, and Luke and I are laying the chorus, and you hear him going,
yeah. South, like if you look like at Atlanta,
the Dungeon Family, man. The Dungeon Family, like Outkast, Goody Mob, that
CeeLo.
Our brother from a different mother, Bone Crusher.
Yeah.
Actually, we got if all goes, I'm gonna put in the universe. If all goes right this year and it comes out like it's supposed to, we have records coming out with Bone Crusher, CeeLo Green.
Oh my God.
Cool Child. So
I met CeeLo before when I was in college. It was so funny when I was at Best Buy and like I was like, hold on. It was so funny. I was singing and I was like, it's just like, but I was singing the song that he did with Niles Barkley when he was with that. And I was like, I turned around and it was so funny. We both looked and I was like, that's CeeLo Green. And he was like, why you stop? And I was like,
yeah.
I said, oh my God.
Yeah, they're so dope. Like Music Soul Child. We did a show in Atlanta a couple years ago, and they were on the show, and Music Soul Child on stage with, and it's just dope, man. Real singers. Like it's dope when real artists connect and on stage, and you get that energy and stuff like that. It's
but then also the South. So obviously there's all Atlanta, but then man, like we love like UGK. Bum B,
Scarface,
rest in peace, Pimp C.
Ghetto Boys,
Scarface. Last year, COVID fell on a weekend.
Yeah.
We were getting vaccines, trick or treat.
Yeah. No, but man, Scarface. I mean,
if we look at New York, there's so many.
Gangstar.
Gangstar, our homie Ali Vegas,
and we've been blessed, man.
Fred the Godson,
DJ Premier from Gangstar, like maybe like out of 5 records we sent him on our Legacy album, he played 3 or 4 on his show on Wednesday nights. It's called Wrecking. I think. Shit, I forget the name of the program, but anyway,
on Shade 45.
It's on Shade 45. But I forget what the actual name of the program is. But so for us, it's just like like Chuck D has played 2 of our records.
He debuted the record Fit In
with Fred the Godson.
With Fred the Godson.
Yeah, rest in peace, Fred, man. Like Fred is one of our favorite rappers from New York. Ali Vegas, who like he came out like with Trackmasters back in the day.
Tupac. I'm sorry.
Tupac on the West.
How do you forget? That's one of my favorite. I went blank for a second.
Biggie, you got to watch the new Biggie documentary on Netflix, man.
Yeah.
That actually, a lot of cool things.
The thing about Tupac's music was it made you cry.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's like, I found like there's hip hop that you appreciate because of the lyrics and the beats and stuff. But Tupac really like when you hear like shed so many tears, like you
and
you feel it. Like you feel like when you hear Dear Mama, you feel it, like you think of your mom, and you like.
And I think with Tupac, like, I think with him,
California Love,
as artists, but also as Italians, not to stereotype, but we're very passionate people. We've got that Latin blood, so we're very fiery for good, bad, and ugly. We can get angry, we can get sad, we can get dramatic. Everything is very like big and extra for Italians. And like I think Tupac and also we take on different roles and moods at different times. Like we know when to be the father, like we are fathers, and we know when to be like dad and the hard nose with our kids. But then we also like Bella, I love you, baby.
That was Tupac
to our kids, and that was Tupac. Like 1 minute he's like, yo, Black Panthers, like channeling his mom and his uncles and stuff with but then the next moment he's like, keep your head up, young girl. But then the next minute he's talking about how do you want it? So he took on multiple moods. But when he did California Love, he did that record literally fresh out of jail.
I feel like I have to break out the top box.
And he was like, you felt that when he came out with that record, we felt that. Like we've never been to prison, but I felt like we were
and we fresh out of jail,
like it was just his cadence. You talked about cadence,
and then Roger Troutman when he came in with California.
That's why I do the talk. That's why I play talk box, because it's Roger Troutman.
Yeah.
I mean, I love playing it because it's incredible.
When my wife and I, when we got married, more bounds to the ounce. When we walked into the hall, we walked out more bounds. So we came like into the hall. Lucas walked into Still Dre with his wife.
Walked into Still Dre.
Well, that was minutes to load up, but but you got it. But no, Midwest, obviously, the whole Detroit scene. You know, we have a lot of respect for what the guys are doing in Kansas City, Missouri, like you know, Tech Nine, that whole movement there.
Nelly, well, that's St. Louis, but
that's Midwest too. Like, you know, Nelly was dope because again, it was singing. We really though liked Bone Thugs and Harmony, and we have we have Crazy Bone on our record.
We have Crazy Bone. We have Crazy Bone on a song that's going to come out this year as well.
Okay.
So,
yeah, that's another fave of my. Everybody from Michigan love Bone. They're like, you know
what? They were one of the first, like, really, when you think about
it. They changed the game. Nobody sounded like them.
With that fast, off cadence, like
busy.
Yeah. And you know, he's standing nine.
But we related to them too. Like, who doesn't relate to like it's the first of the month?
Get up.
It's the first of the month. Yeah. Miss my Uncle Charles. I mean, so many rock.
Crossroad. Oh yeah, they had some great songs.
And not to bring it back to the West, but 3 Times Crazy when they did the beat by 52nd Street.
Oh
Keep
yeah.
Keep it on the real. Yeah.
You know, and you know, like, yeah, man, that's what I miss. I mean, it is coming back where, you know, like Buffalo, and shouts out to Buffalo. Like, we've been blessed because we live close to the border. You know, we have a record with Conway the Machine. We have a record with Benny the Butcher, Rick Hyde, who's part of the Black Soprano family and stuff. Shout out to Ballistic Man and Tony De Niro, cats that we've connected with there. Struggle Mike. But we got another record that we produced for this dope rapper from Boston. One shot bass. And then another record with Benny. But like those guys are bringing it back where it's like, okay, yo, that's that old Wu-Tang kind of sound. It's Buffalo. But I miss those days where, you know, yo, that's the South sound and that's the East sound. Now everybody sounds the same.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting. I mean, I get it. Like, I mean, I listened to the Migos. I went to the Migos concert. I like Drake. Of course, I like when Drake came out. It was just like, I know who Drake is. He was on Degrassi. And so people are like, what's Degrassi? I said, you know what Degrassi is? I was like, the guy that was in a wheelchair, Jimmy. And so people are like, who is Aubrey Graham? And I was like, that's Drake. And so everybody, I mean, some people it was kind of interesting because just like when Shakira came out, a lot of people, I knew about Shakira when I was like in middle school. And a lot of people didn't know about her until like maybe when she came out with Whenever, Wherever song or whatnot. But I knew about, I was like, I remember Shakira.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say what you said. Like, you used to like that if you wanted to listen to, like, I mean, there's still a West Coast sound. There still is, you know, New York sound. You know, more of the underground, like Graph. We got to check with Graph too. But yeah, like the mainstream hip hop, it all sounds the same. You don't know if they're from Toronto. You don't know if they're from West, East, South. They all kind of sound the same. The stuff that's like that, you know, that they're throwing on mainstream radio. That's all you hear, right?
The trap music, it's kind of the same vibe. It kind of yeah. And so speaking of that, I remember like a couple of things that I remember with hip hop in general growing up. Was the whole culture of the clothing. Like, I was an Echo Red girl, like Mark Echo. I know Echo Unlimited, that was guys or whatnot, and the whole FUBU and Sean John, Carl Kanai, all of that. How much of that played an influence for y'all?
We rocked all the clothes that
I remember I was like, I always wore Uptowns. Even in elementary school, I was Uptowns. White, nice white Uptown. You know, I had a blue
Air Force Ones. Air Force Ones.
Yeah, I had every color of Air Force Ones.
So y'all call them Uptowns?
Well, we had Uptown. Well, it's not Uptowns. What were the Uptowns?
I can't remember.
I don't remember. But I wore like Air Force Ones. I rocked like I had.
Yeah.
I remember it was like obviously the classic white ones.
Yeah, the white on white ones. Yeah.
White on white. But then I had ones like it was like the gum color. it was like an aqua blue light lining on it, and then the swoosh had a blue lining around it. Then I had like Rockaware bomber jackets, all leather Rockaware jackets, Fat Farm big jacket with the fur and stuff. I wish I never got rid of those jackets. Yeah.
Like I remember I had an Iceberg outfit. I think it was Iceberg. Or was it Johnny Blaze? It was a pink like snake skin type thing or whatever. And I was like, it was only 2 people that had it, myself and somebody else. And I remember that, like, because growing up in Michigan is like literally, I would always go to Great Lakes Crossing Mall and get like all of my stuff from like Forever 21 before Forever 21 got big. Mom was taking me there. And so I would go to like Windsor before Windsor got big or whatnot. And I would always like get my stuff from there because nobody would have it. And so like on spring breaks, we would go out of town and I would have a lot of stuff that people didn't have because I never wanted to look like nobody. I was like, God, please don't. I would have my own little style or whatnot. So And so
No, it's funny because like you couldn't get a lot of that stuff in Toronto. You could only go to like downtown Toronto to like 1 or 2 like specialty stores, like hip hop stores that would have it. So we had family in Miami. So when we go to Miami, you know, you'd hit like the TJ Maxx, you'd hit like you'd hit like the Marshalls and stuff, and you could, you know, and then some of these hip hop stores, and you could get that stuff. So we'd always come back, you know, home like rocking all this dope, you know, like all this dope gear, like even the Air Force Ones. You could only find the white on white here, but I'd come back with like different colors or like with the blue or the white with the red linings around. You know, people go, "Where'd you get that?" I'm like, nah, that's a Miami exclusive. You can't get it, you know.
Yeah, the ones that I know they actually had like the Mexican ones with the Mexican flag, and then they had the Italian ones too. Now they have like where you can get the paint from Michael's or wherever, and you can customize them. I found out, I was like, when I found like neon pink, I was like, I'm about to customize mine.
I should get the Gladiator logo on some white.
Everyone is customizing everything.
Because nobody wants to, and I get it. I was like, you know, nobody wants to look the same. And I mean, back in the day, I never wanted to look like people anyway. But it's kind of funny because now everybody wants to be so unique and individual. But back in the day, when people were doing that, it was like, oh, they're weird or whatnot. It's like when Cameron came out with the pink, and everybody was like, oh, that's whack. And I said, no, it's not. You just don't get it. And like he was the only one with that pink fur. He put that out there. And then I remember when the FUBU bibs came out. And I got a pair of those, and then the Tommy bibs came out, and it was like, okay, you know, the whole culture of it. And then I remember like, so I was always Adidas Originals, like I still rock Adidas Originals, Nike, let's see what else. That's about, and then Guess, love Guess, like Guess, they're kind of bringing it back a little bit. I wasn't really a big Fat Farm person. I had Rockaware or whatnot, but I know for me, if it was not Adidas, if it wasn't the Converse, the Timbs, what was it? Nike, Reeboks or whatnot, I didn't rock it.
We had some dope tracksuits too back in the day, like Kappa's made a comeback, but like like Italia, like thing. But then I had like Diadora. Remember the Saucony's, like Diadora?
Yeah, I had some Saucony's. Yeah, I had some DKNY sports stuff. That was big.
I had Lecoq Sportif.
Like
exclusive joints.
But like, even the velour, man, I probably had at least eight or nine velour tracks.
A couple of
Coogee was big too. Coogee,
I think you know what's funny. The word when I said what did I say? Uptowns.
Yeah.
I don't even think that was. I think it's just because in Toronto you had to go uptown, like you had to go to the city. To get them, so I think that's where I'm thinking of the word uptown. There was no such thing as uptown Nikes. It was Air Force Ones, but I think it was like, oh, did you get those uptown?
No, because some people do call them uptown. I want to say in some region they do call them Air Force. They call them. Some uptown. We call them forces or ones, and then some people call G like in Louisiana. I think they call them G Nikes or something. And so I want to say maybe on the East Coast, they call them uptowns. I want to say
maybe.
they do.
Because I always remember
they
saying, "No,
do.
you got some
Yeah.
uptowns." Oh, not forget we had like at least 3 pairs of Tims.
Yeah.
Timberland boots, man, and then
Well, I still have Tims, but
Yeah.
Tims, man. There's certain things, you know, like, and I love the color black. It's
Yeah.
a little more slimming, but we, you know, we're rocking our own stuff. Like this is our label, the Gladiator.
Yeah.
So we're like, we rock a lot of our own
That's nice.
stuff. Yeah.
and then the hoodie.
Yeah. Well, no, this is just the sweater.
A sweater, yeah.
But
sweatshirt.
so we're gonna start making like track pants too, like with the embroidered, like right here. So then it's just like when we're somewhere, it's just we're always repping our own
stuff.
the movement, you know.
Yeah. So it's interesting because people don't realize that the whole culture, it's a lot that comes with it. And I always remember the style, like, okay, so when you seen so-and-so wearing that, I got to have that. And I know with Aaliyah, when she came out, God rest her soul, when she came out, she had the whole camouflage thing going on, you know, and that was big. So who are your
try to emulate her, man?
Yeah,
girls,
yeah.
You know, I mean, that's got to be what she died. Like what?
2001. I think it was 2001, 2002.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna look at it.
18 years ago. 18.
August. It was August 18th, I think.
I remember
August
we were at a cottage and we just felt sick to our. I think it was like Labor Day.
I remember watching her on.
Sick to
I
our
remember
stomach.
watching her on BET going, "I'm going to whatever Caribbean island,
Bahamas or something,
or Barbados or whatever."
And she was on a small plane and they couldn't
to shoot the video, and she was excited. No, the pilot said it's too heavy, all your gear. And they went take off anyways, and it literally went up and went right back down.
Well, he wasn't supposed to be flying though. That came out later.
Yeah,
that came out later. He was not supposed to be flying, but you know,
it was so sad.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. So in terms of top females and male singers, who are your top?
That we would say singers. I would say, you know, we have such respect for the old school, like before our time. Like some of my favorite singers are Sam Cooke, Aaron Neville, and they all they're all soulful, but they all sound different. You know, Aaron Neville, Sam Cooke, Jackie Wilson, James Brown, Smokey Robinson, Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye. With the newer singers, like and then if we like jump to like 80s and the 90s, you know, obviously I love Prince's voice, love like D'Angelo, Child. We loved Avant's voice, you know. My first love. You know, so many great voices. For females,
Silhouette. I miss that where you'd go to a club and then like the last 3 joints of the night were slow jams. It was like 3:30 in the morning. 3:30 in the morning, they turned the lights up. Silhouette.
Well, you know, it was originally Angela Winbush who did that.
Yeah.
And Angela Renee. Because people were like, oh, that's Angela and Renee.
Well, even
Renee and Angela.
What was the group when they did Escape?
Kick on me.
No, not that.
The
one with Keith Sweat though. They did. What was the one?
No, that was.
Am I dreaming? That's what we made too. From Atlantic Star or Midnight Star, one of them.
Yeah.
Female singers, I mean, Faith Evans, Blige, Kelly Price. You know, I'm going back to male and female. Love the Winans family. Winans. Love Lauryn Hill's voice.
Newer artists like male, I think. You know, I like Anderson .Paak. I like what he's
doing. He got that new track with Bruno.
You know, and Bruno, I don't think, I hate to say it, there are some really good singers out there that are more.
There are a couple,
that are in the underground, but I hate to say it, like, you know,
everybody sounds the same.
You know, when you listen, autotune's cool. It's great. We use autotune for certain effects when you're doing that type of, you know, when it calls for the effect of it. But unfortunately, you know, and it's not kind of showing like you know, back in the day, that kind of, you know, that old mentality. It's just the fact that even the production today, it's very easy to do shit with very little talent because the technology is bigger and greater than the artists themselves. So when you go pay all this money and you're really disappointed because the artist sounds nothing like the album, and you know, it's like, well, that's because all the studio tricks that these engineers are doing to make them sound good. So you know, I say it, and it doesn't matter whatever you do in life, whether you want to be a painter, construction, whatever, learn your craft. Like I play keyboards. I've been playing, you know, piano forever and jazz piano, but learn. Adrian's a singer. Like learn your craft. So if you want to sing that trappy song that you sing with all the effects on its own on a guitar or piano, you can do it. Like
Freddie Fox did it the best. Freddie Fox or Bumpy Knuckles. He was on the Premium Pete podcast, and he said it to Pete. He goes, "Yo, man," he goes, "hip hop. It's like the only thing where," he goes, "I've studied the craft of hip hop my whole life." He goes, "I'm on the 5th floor now," meaning he's in his 50s. You know, I'm on the 5th floor, man, and I'm honored to have been doing it for this long and be in my 50s on the 5th floor. But he goes, "I'm still learning, you know, and it's taking me this long to get to this point." And he goes, when you're an athlete, you can't bypass the process in being an athlete. You've got to train. He goes, music and hip hop is the only thing that people think like they could take the elevator instead of the stairs, you know, because what Lucas said, like, shit, I could buy an app on my phone and it could be going
and make an album in the next day.
boom, 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 you know,
and you do
like, she said you wanna.
Well, it's even like,
you know, and then there's an album.
It's even like the talk box. Like I've been using the talk box forever. I have it sitting here. People go, "Oh, is that auto tune?" No, you got to learn. You got to know how to.
There's a difference to it. Yeah,
you got to learn how to play keyboards in order to play it, because you got to play it, and you got to breathe it, and then you know, and then what you're doing. So if people are like, "Oh, so it's not a vocoder?" No, it's not.
No, it's a difference.
Totally different thing.
And before I forget, I want to say shout out to Katrina and Rachel.
Yes.
Entertainment for hooking this up. So Rachel and Katrina, if you're watching Kick Up Your Heels, we love you girls. Thank you.
But yeah, learn your craft. You know, even these trap producers, right? Some dope stuff that people do, but you know, not everything is 808s and hi-hat and then just like putting notes on a, you know, like drawing in notes, like learn how to play.
I think there's got to be a healthy medium.
Yeah.
So I think middle ground. So it's just like, you know, guys who are older, you know, don't think that you're the best and you know it all. Learn from the youth, because the youth have something to say, and we were all youth at one point. But then the youth need to listen to elder statesmen and to guys who have a couple stripes on their arm, you know, and have been through the trenches, and learn some things too. Learn some things about songwriting, because we also live in a world right now where numbers are obscured. Like, it's very easy. Like, you could be whack, but really you take $2,000, pay a company, and within a week you could say you've got 1 million streams. And so we judge people's worth by how many likes and
follows and all that.
But it's all a bunch of bullshit. It's all a bunch of smoke and mirrors. It's all fake. And the thing with a lot of the kids don't realize is that when that's all gone, like, what are you doing to really cultivate longevity? You know, and that's that only time will tell. You know, only time will tell to see. But I think
someone said it the best. They said if they take away the likes, what are people going to do? Because actually Instagram did that. They did it a couple of days ago, where they made it to where you could not see how many people liked your photo, and people freaked out. Like, it was so funny. They didn't know how to act.
We live in that world. There's an episode of, I don't know if you've ever watched Black Mirror on Netflix.
I heard it's pretty good though.
It's dope. It's all about technology and how like the future how technology is like to the 100th degree now, and how we use it and how it messes with people. And one of the episodes, I forget who is. I think the guest star is that. What's her name? Ron Howard's daughter. She was in the Mandalorians, and she was in Jurassic World and stuff. But she's in it, and in order to get that new house in that particular posh area, it's how many likes you get. So when she goes to like the coffee shop, she looks at the barista and goes, "Oh, you look great today." Bing. They gave you a 4, and then today she didn't say it as nicely, so the barista only gave her a 2, and she's like, "Oh my God!" No. So she goes nuts because she's losing. She's trying to build up all these likes, which is it's like currency now. Likes are currency, and we're not far removed from that reality.
No.
Where a blue check on Instagram means you're important now. So it's.
I think people just have to, like, it's very difficult to do because, it's human nature to always want more. But I think it's very difficult to do. But if COVID has taught us anything, like, man, we just have to count our blessings, Is a blessing. Touch wood, healthy to the best of our knowledge. You've got your family. You're able to pay your bills. Everything else is an extra, it's an extra off of that. But also people need to just stop. And it's hard to do. Don't compare yourself to other people. Like,
that's a big thing that people do. Like, just be yourself. Yeah,
be yourself. I don't want to be anybody else. Like, man, I don't want to like sound like it. Like, yeah, I want people to go, "Yo, cool, that sounds a little bit like this," but we want to be carving our own thing.
Yeah,
that's why we started Gladiator, because as being younger dudes, we were signed to independent labels. We were signed to a major label. We're still signed to a major publishing deal with Universal. So we've seen the ins and outs, and it's not all what it's cracked up to be. So we like being our own bosses and kind of dictating where we think the ship is going to go in this musical water that we're,
Mind you, though, I do get compared to Jason Momoa, and I'm okay with that.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen him before. I've seen him. I was actually on the Kelly Clarkson show in the audience, and he was sitting right in front of me, and I was like, oh my God.
No, if Jason Momoa
he's married to Lisa
Bonet.
Yeah.
If Jason Momoa had a short, pudgier version, brother.
We had a crush on Lisa Bonet as a kid. Well, all the girls on Different World, like it's funny, man. It's like many times, like it's weird. Like even though we grew up here and we grew up in an Italian household, but the majority of the music, 85 to 90% was all black. All the TV shows we watched were all black. All of our heroes on our walls were black. So so we just really grew up. It's like, so like, yeah, man, like a different world. Like we didn't have
Marissa Tomei was on there.
She was, but it's funny. Like I like the what's her face? She's actually Canadian.
The curly hair.
Cree Summers. She does all the voices for like every cartoon.
Cartoon, yeah.
I really liked her. Like as a kid.
I like her. She's a fave of mine.
Yeah. Yeah, like it just
Jada Pinkett was on there.
Yep. Yeah. Jalisa. I mean, I can't remember.
Jalisa. I think Don Robinson was her name.
Yeah. Good shows, man.
And Jasmine Guy.
We used to watch Living Single.
Yeah, Kim Whitfield. I mean Kim. What's Kim's last name?
In a 90s kind of world.
And it comes to
I got my girl.
Yeah.
Kim Fields.
Kim Fields. Yeah. Okay. I was thinking of the comedian lady, but yeah, Kim Fields.
Yeah.
I love Martin.
Yeah.
Oh, Martin. Come
She's
on.
a fave. Yeah.
Brother man from the folk flow. No, brother man from the
Bro man. No, Martin was classic, man. Like
that is just incredible. Like, but we related to the humor on those shows more than, and I hate using colors, but like more than the white, like Seinfeld was a genius show, and people go, "Did you see the episode of Seinfeld?" Like, no, man.
They would always say that. They would always ask you, like, "Did you watch Seinfeld?" I'm like, "No, I don't watch Seinfeld."
No, we were watching A Different World, and
yeah. But Seinfeld was a good show. Don't get me wrong, but yeah,
you know what? Now I watch it back, and it's
I could watch it. Yeah.
It's fun.
And like Friends, people were big on Friends. I couldn't get into Friends like that. I couldn't get into it.
I couldn't get into Friends because I just thought it was so like, I watched.
Well, it was just
phony. Like,
well, it didn't
sound.
I like the theme song. I'll be there for you.
Yeah, if you whoever wrote that one has been
the Rembrandts. I think was it Rembrandts. Yeah,
I think so.
We related to like the other shows more.
Yeah, well, Friends was just it was like I've watched.
It wasn't a bad show, but it wasn't for. It just was like okay, yeah.
Yeah. I like horror, like I like scary shows. Like I'm not.
Yeah,
if it's not like a comedy show, then I like dark stuff. Like I like scary. Like Adrian could care less about scary movies, but like my like I like watching like scary movies and like stuff when you're done, you're looking around the house going like
they filmed Friday the 13th, the TV series in Canada.
Yeah, they
did.
Yeah.
Our old high school teacher was involved with the filming of that. Mr.
Wow.
The guy who Luke did. He did the tech class. What was his Mr. Gibb? Mr. Gibb.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I remember that was his thing.
I like the iconic films from the 80s. Like I like the whole late John Hughes.
Oh,
and he's from Lansing too, by the way.
Yeah, like see that stuff I love, like Breakfast Club.
Yeah. The teenage angst movies. Yeah.
Shout out to Lansing, Michigan. A homie of ours, Josh, ended up moving to Lansing.
He's been living there for 20 years.
Living there for 20 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that, and then also like the Freddy Krueger movies. Those are good. Yeah. And then the one that I could not watch that by myself. Hellraiser.
Oh, Hellraiser, yeah.
Yeah, scared.
Those are dark. Like I love them, but yeah, there's some dark.
My favorite one is Happy Birthday to Me. That was the best film. And I think they filmed that in Canada. They did. Yeah. That was a good one.
Like newer ones I really liked, like Insidious, like the Insidious movies. Like
I couldn't get into that one. I like Saw. Saw was the best. That was a game changer. And the one Final Destination, that was a game changer too. Yeah. Because it played on fear, like what could possibly happen. And Saw was really like, okay, he really wasn't killing you. He was setting traps. So if you didn't survive, that was you. It was
Saw was, those were good. I haven't seen the new one, but I don't even know if it came out. It was with The Rock. The Rock produced it.
It was a Saw one?
Not The Rock. What's his name?
Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
No, The Rock. Like now I get them both. Chris Rock. Sorry, Chris Rock.
Okay.
Chris Rock produced it, and he starred. I know The Rock. I'm thinking, Chris Rock produced it, and he's in it, and it's the Saw movies again, but it's called. I think it's called Jigsaw.
But Jigsaw. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out.
But I don't know if it came out yet because of COVID, right? Because a lot of
stuff got pushed back. Like Candyman, has that came out yet?
No, not yet. Now it looks dope because
it does. It's
what's his name?
Jordan Peele. Yeah.
Right. So that's like I like what
he's doing. I like what he's doing. Yeah.
Get Out and Us.
Oh, that one was. I kind of figured what that one was about before I even got it. I was like, it's gonna be about the whole premise of how people view somebody to be the good guy, the whole labeling theory. You got somebody that does the same thing, and then who's really the good guy, who's really the bad guy, the antagonist, the protagonist. Yeah,
right. You watched it?
I seen it.
Yeah,
and it was a lot of imagery, a lot of religious type stuff. Yeah, and I mean, if you didn't really get it, a lot of people are like, I didn't get it. And like me and my best, like one of my best guy friends, he's like my little brother. We were just like, duh, we get it. And people
Well, yeah.
like, what does it mean? And I said, we just start like pinpointing different things to tell them to go back and watch it because it was so much. It was so much.
Even in the beginning when they're playing the Loonies, I got 5.
I got 5 on it.
And the mom has like no rhythm. She's like,
yeah,
trying to like snap to the rhythm right away. And we're going like, what? First 5 minutes of the film, going, what is this? Then it all made sense at the end. That was the doppelganger. They switched back in, right? So it was. Yeah.
No, remember that moment? The little boy, he knew it when there was that scene. That was another one. It was kind of like the Sixth Sense. Like I knew he was dead. I was like, dude is dead. And so I don't know, certain stuff like that. I watch the whole social awareness shows like Snapped and For My Man and different stuff like that. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Adrian gets bored on stuff like that. He'd rather watch antiques.
No.
Wow. I like the detective shows like Murder, She Wrote, MacGyver, the Dark Tales of the Dark Side. Like, yeah.
Have you watched Supernatural?
That's the one that was on CW. I watched the episode, but I couldn't get into it. My show was Pretty Little Liars when it was on.
Yeah.
I like Desperate Housewives, Grey's Anatomy, Law and Order.
I like Law and Order.
Yeah.
I couldn't get into Grey's Anatomy because I don't believe that every doctor is that good looking. It's impossible. That's bullshit. Bullshit. That's not true.
I like a lot of mafia shows. The cartel shows.
Yeah, Sopranos was one of
them. Yeah.
Goes like Sopranos will go down.
Suits is a big one too. The one that Meghan Markle was on. Yeah.
Breaking Bad was amazing.
I like Top Boy. It's on Netflix about like in just East London and London, England, like drug culture and stuff like that, like drug dealers and stuff. Like I love that stuff like that. And then I like documentaries too, man. Like I watched a documentary on Pablo Picasso. I thought it was an interesting thing. Like I had no idea how much art this guy was even doing in his 80s.
Yeah.
Like,
in high quality.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't lose it, man. Right to the end, he did not lose it.
I like dramas too, like 4 Years of Trump. That was a drama we watched, being Canadian. I won't say anymore.
No, I'm laughing. That
was a drama. The world won.
Yeah, the
world won that one and said it's only 4. hopefully it's only 4 seasons.
Oh my God, it's too funny. No, I'm laughing because I'm in DC, so
yeah.
Oh, so I see it all the time. Yeah, I'm in DC, so I see it all the time. Like what's really going on or whatnot with the whole situation.
Yeah, man, you're right. You're right there.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I mean, I just laugh. Like I just like let the fools be fools.
Yeah.
So Legacy. Tell us about that. About the album.
Yeah, man. Legacy was a labor of love. We just wanted to put out an album that if we didn't know who we were, we would listen to it. And so again, it's funny, like earlier you had said, who are your favorite from like the West Coast and that. So I think we kind of did that. We have records with East Coast guys that are more East Coast. We got, West Coast joints like with BG Knockout, Crooked Eye, and our homie RX and our homie Nicole, Monet, For the Gods. Like they're just so many different, and we wanted to have interludes and the whole line. And I think it took us a long while to put it all together just because of COVID, but then, waiting on different people. But it's funny, we already started working on anthems and icons, and we're like, album's basically done.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we just want to keep the momentum. Like, you see a lot of people on Instagram or Facebook are like, well, it's quality over quantity. Absolutely. But we live in a world right now where you've got to give out quantity. Like you've got to put out content. And, nobody should think that they're that important that they can drop something in 5 years, every 5 years, unless you're Jay-Z or Beyonce.
Or Lauryn Hill.
Well, yeah, And so it's just like, we're just beating the pavement, like we've March 26th, We have a project coming out called Shoot Me Up with a friend of ours. She's from England, from London, but lives in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. It's called Shoot Me Up. It's very alternative. It's very different. It's very graphic and grimy and gritty. It's not rap at all. But then we have Project Life After Life.
Life After Life with RX. From the Bay, and then our album, and then a project with Doodlebug from Diggable Planets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's going to be really dope. Very jazzy, like jazzy hip hop.
That's exactly what I imagined it to be. Cause like, I know when they came out, I'm cool like that. Like, that was the jam right there. Yeah. That's going to be dope.
That's going to be real dope. We have some they're called the Brassaholics. They're from New Orleans. And they laid some brass down on one record.
It's so funky.
It's so dope.
So yeah, man, multiple projects, but we're also working on films and stuff too. So, Legacy was kind of the jump off, and now it's there, it's out, it's in the world. We're close to 2 million streams on Spotify for the whole album. For us, that's a huge accomplishment because, it's not like we're getting the backing from anybody. We're the backing. We're the financiers. We're the singers, songwriter, producers, the mixers, the engineers, the record company, the district. Like we play every role
with our partner Will.
But yeah, shout out to Trill Will, our partner, and Joanna, his wife. But yeah, man, and we're just keeping the ball rolling. Like this morning, I was on 2 calls. One call with a dude in London, England, and one call with the dude in Miami, Florida, or Hollywood Beach, Florida, because we wrote a script to a film. And it's COVID, but it's about.
Well, don't give it away.
No, I'm not going to give it away.
Don't give it away.
But anyway, yeah. So they're filming it like this Sunday. We have a Zoom with all the actors and actresses. But I will say, one dude who's in it. Shout out to Sean Romulus. Sean Romulus is in the big TV show Top Boy on Netflix. 3 seasons. So we got Sean in this. Shout out to Michael MK, director in London, England. Big up, like they say in England. Wagwan Bridging. And on the London. So, yeah, man. So we're doing films, too. We wrote this script. And the beautiful thing, we wrote this script. Michael's adding to the script. It's taking place in London. It's taking place here, Italy, and Miami. And I think we're doing a very interesting take on something. But then we're going to do all the music for it, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So quick, so another question. So do y'all have Little Caesars in Canada?
We do.
Y'all do? Okay.
There's one right by the Misos, man.
Oh yeah. It's not. There's not a lot of them. Like we have Domino's. Domino's takes over like in this Niagara area. If you go to Toronto, it's a chain called Pizza or Pizza Nova.
Oh yeah, I heard it on Pizza. Yeah.
It's in a chain called Pizza Nova. We have Little Caesars here, but yeah, they're a little more.
Papa John's, there's 1 or 2, but
it's not even.
It's not.
Yeah, no,
our Little Caesars is dope. We have Stromboli in Michigan. And Flint are the only ones that have Stromboli. If you try to get it somewhere else, they're gonna look at you like, huh?
We got to get a Coney Island in Ontario, man. Like we're used to coming to Michigan and going to a Coney Island.
The Coney dogs. Yeah.
So
they got the Detroit Conies and the Flint style. Yeah.
It's a nice spot in Michigan, man. Birmingham, Michigan.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I've heard about.
It's like a suburb out of Detroit.
Yeah.
But one strip where it's just like all these really like boutique, high-end.
Yeah.
We went to party there once with Obi Trice.
Yeah.
That was nice. That was a fun night, man. Yeah. That was.
Do y'all still got the Tim Hortons? I love Tim Hortons. Like I miss Tim Hortons. They got this little blueberry blast muffin. I used to get all the time in high school. We don't have them in DC, so.
Yeah, no, Tim Hortons is still massive.
Yeah, I love Tim Hortons.
It's changed a bit over the years, but like the donuts are great. And
yeah,
actually out here, the coffee's a little different in the States, but the Canadian McDonald's coffee is pretty good. It's not too bad. But being at home right now in lockdown, I make pretty damn good coffee. So now I'm becoming like a coffee snob. I'm like a coffee snob now. I'm going like, nah, that's no.
So let me ask you something. How do you like DC, man, compared to? I'm gonna flip this. We're gonna flip the script. Ask you, how do you like living in Washington D.C. compared to?
So I'm a city person. So I was born and raised in Flint, Michigan. I grew up on the northwest side of Flint. So I'm in the city right now in Northwest DC. So I like it. I don't like the food. The food sucks in DC.
Yeah.
The food is much better in Michigan. And when I lived in Atlanta, it was good too. But like, I know how to cook, thank God. But everything is like so overrated. There's only a couple places that taste really good.
Yep.
And I don't really like if it's not certain things like certain Thai food, I don't eat, or like maybe Mexican food, but Mexican food tastes better in Michigan and even in Atlanta and other places. So yeah. I mean, but I like DC in terms of like there's always something to do and it's interesting. So yeah.
Food wise, and you'd love like the food in Toronto and out here in Niagara, because we are very, it's a very, one great thing about Canada, we are very multicultural, and we applaud everyone's ethnicities and their cultures and their food, arts. So there's little, I mean, you can find little Chinatown in New York and this pocket and that pocket. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like a mini New York in that regards. But if you want like real authentic Italian, you'll find it. 3 blocks away, you can find real authentic Chinese food and Vietnamese food. And then you could go to this place and it's like some real good Polish food. Then you could, so that's the one thing that we really do have here. That's kind of like one of the best, I think. We second to none in the world. Like we got world-class food, like everywhere. So many cultures, are in Canada. That's true. So it's cool that way.
California got some good food too. Like I've been to California and I love like the tacos and all that, the food trucks. And then also I know in Canada, y'all are big with the poutine. The poutine. Is it poutine?
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah.
Funny. My wife is from Montreal. So poutine started in Quebec, Montreal. I have never eaten poutine in my life.
You never?
Never.
Sacrilege.
I've never tried it.
So for those watching, it's cheese curds and gravy on French fries. It's really good.
Yeah, I've never tried it. Yeah, my wife will eat it. She'll still eat it once in a while, But
if you eat poutine, just don't go to bed afterwards. Like you'll be that'll be the smelliest night. Never eat poutine and go to bed with your loved one. Yeah, that'll be a night you'll never forget. God, it is. I've had it, but it's my wife loves it. Yeah, my wife can eat that. She'll love that. But yeah, it's heavy.
Have like good chicken wing places.
You know what? We have a bunch here. There's a pizza spot up the street. Italian pizzas and subs. I gotta say, man, Martin and Rita. We know the owners. They make a mean chicken wing. Like it is.
Mind you, I've never eaten fried chicken like Roscoe's in Cali. I mean
Sylvia's in New York is good too.
Really?
Actually, they have some good soul food. Yeah.
I think the best fried chicken, man, Luke, we had was in Cincinnati. At Angela's mother's house.
Well, but nothing beats a grandmother's home cooked food.
So years ago we were working in Cincinnati and we were working in Virginia. So in Virginia we were working with Levi Little. We're still friends with Blackstreet.
From Blackstreet, yeah. That was what I said. Like, okay.
Yeah. So we're good friends with Levi. We're trying to get Levi on our anthems and icons.
He played the guitar on Joy, and he was singing it too.
Yeah. So we've been in his house, his studio in his house. And then we were working in Cincinnati with a cat called Angelo Ray, who back in the day produced Jade. He produced Don't Walk. No, but
I know who they are. I know exactly who they are. Yeah.
Now, remember the group Babyface had? His brothers.
After Seven.
He produced a lot of their joints. And then he was like a drummer for BBD. And then after he was working, like when the MySpace era started, then he was working for Icons. Icons. Convict Music.
Yeah.
And we were chatting on MySpace. And then I don't know. We got a financial array. But anyway, he took us to, it was either his aunt or his grandmother, his mother, a barbecue's like, man, y'all are going to roll with me, man. We're going to go to grandma's house or aunt's house. Holy.
Incredible.
The chicken was out.
Macaroni
pie, collard greens. Like, let me tell you something. That was incredible. And we got some incredible soul food in Atlanta too. We were staying at a hotel right off of Peachtree, close to where Bone Crusher like Bone Crusher lives close to where the CNN, where you can see that Ferris wheel.
Oh, I think I know where you went.
Yeah.
I think what is it called? They got some good chicken.
I won't remember the name. Do you remember you and I?
don't remember.
I think I know where y'all went. It's they got some good chicken.
And the macaroni and cheese.
What are they called? I'm gonna think of them in a minute.
Oh my God.
I don't remember the name, but
do you remember?
I don't remember.
I think I know what they're called. I think I know because it's close by. Chicken place in Atlanta. It's not Hattie B's. I'm trying to think which one. Pascal's.
That's it. That's it.
How did I know? Yeah, because that's the only place they got the good chicken. And it's like, Pascal's got some good chicken. And then it's another spot that a lot of people from college, because I went to Clark Atlanta University. So like Busy Bees got some good soul food, but they're kind of overrated. This is it. They got some good food. Yeah.
I like Atlanta, man. Atlanta's got a great vibe. Lucas can really relate to the Southern hospitality. Yeah. You know, and I think Southern culture is very Italian. It is like, like Bone Crusher. When we hang out with Bone Crusher, the moment we met him, it was like, I felt like it was like a cousin. Like it didn't feel like.
Yeah, no, Bone is.
You gotta go to Little 5 Points. Little 5 Points is nice.
Okay.
That's like the up and coming areas. It's so they have like the little artsy, and it has like Ponce de Leon in Atlanta. It was named after the explorer from Puerto Rico, Ponce de Leon. Yeah. And so also Vinings. Then they got
Vinings too.
Yeah. It's a couple of places.
The performance was. I remember
it was very
artsy area. I don't remember the.
Yeah, I don't.
It might have been Little 5 Points. It's over by Emory, and they got some nice mom and pop like pizza places and Mexican restaurants.
Is it kind of like hipsterish?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
And that's where we were there. We were there. The show that we did, that we said we did with Music Soul Child and stuff. It was there because it was very.
It probably was over. Yeah, because either that area or either I'm thinking. Let me think. It wasn't Atlantic Station, is it? Was it?
I forget the name.
That's a newer area, like the ritzy. It's becoming that. Yeah.
But I remember we were supposed to do a sound check the day, before the gig. And so we get to our flight stopover in Washington.
Was it Apache Cafe?
Man,
because some people go there too. Apache or either I know it wasn't Mellow Mushroom. Mellow Mushroom, that's a pizza place. I love Mellow Mushroom.
Yeah, if I went down on if you have it on your thing. But I remember, so then we get off at the Washington D.C. airport, and apparently Delta Airlines or whatever, like apparently they book more flights than they have in Washington. So they're like, we were on time. They're like, you have 5 minutes to get your anybody who's connecting to Atlanta.
We were actually early.
Yeah, that happened to me before in California when I was going back.
In Washington, what happens a lot of times, they don't have enough gates for all the planes that come in. So you end up sitting on the tarmac for like 30 minutes, even though you're early, and then you miss your connector. So actually, you know what? Already that's 4 years ago. And this is the reason why I remember it, because I said to Luke, if we're waiting this long, we went to Washington, D.C. as teenagers. We went to the Lincoln Memorial, the museum. Yeah. But I'm like, let's just go in front of the White House. Obama was still in the White House. But there was the election. It was campaigns. And I remember it was 4 years ago
because one of my daughters brought it down maybe a couple of months ago. I bought them Hillary Clinton pins because, young girls, right? And a female looking for thing. So one of my daughters brought it down, and I'm like, yeah, oh my God, man, Atlanta. That's how long ago we went to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Another spot. Well, don't go to Varsity. I'm biased because I had Coney dogs growing up. Varsity, they have, the chili dogs. Chili is not Coney dogs.
Yeah.
People will argue that. I'm like, no, it's not the same.
But also growing up in Michigan, I think, I think it's very, it was a melting pot, like a lot of
it is.
And there's a lot of Middle Eastern influence.
Yep.
There's a lot of Iraqi,
Muslim Americans. Yep, big in the Ann Arbor area. Yeah.
So the food you would have been just like us growing up in Toronto.
Yeah.
The three of us were exposed to a lot of different food. You know what I mean? So then it's hard to go somewhere else because you kind of end up being a food snob because you're like,
it's not that good here. I'm being honest. You're paying for. And it don't even taste that great.
Yeah.
You can make it yourself.
Right. It's like not even just so much a snob, but it's like even pizza.
I'm big on pizza. I gotta have either thin crust or I don't like a lot of cheese on my pizza.
Neither do I.
I don't like all that.
So you're a real Italian because
D, you just won my heart.
D, you're Italian, man.
I mean, I love cheese, but I don't like. This is my thing.
No, you don't want it.
I don't like all that. That's too much.
No, because real Italian.
It's too much.
Real Italian pizza.
It's thin. Yeah.
Just a little bit of cheese.
New York style. Yeah. I like a lot of toppings though. I do like a lot. They cheat you. They skimp you here. In Michigan, they layer them on. I like a lot of. Yeah, I like a lot of mushrooms, a lot of green peppers, and black olives. And they don't like. I'm like, I want a vegetarian pizza. They're like, I'm like, it's only 5 mushrooms. That's not no. Well, there's cheese. I said, I don't want all that cheese.
Yeah. If you ever come here, when the world opens up and people feel safe, we will take you to some of the best pizza joints. Okay. We have a friend up the street. He's from Naples. Mm-hmm. He ordered his wood oven it's a stove.
Yeah, the wood oven. That's how. Yes, it's a difference. Real pizza.
And actually, his is the stone oven with the wood. Yeah. His pizza is like the pizza.
He got it sent from Italy. His oven.
Yeah, and it only takes 5, maybe a couple of seconds for it to get done.
Yeah, and it's literally, it's from my house, it's a 10-minute walk. In both of our cars, it's a minute drive. It's an incredible place, incredible.
Yeah. And just like the Chinese food here, it's not that great. It's not.
Now I'm a snob because my wife is half Chinese, half Cambodian, and so I've been, I've eaten some homemade real Chinese food and then real Chinese restaurants. Mm-hmm. So when somebody says, "Oh yeah, I went to a real Chinese place," the chicken.
No, you didn't.
And they're like, the chicken balls were great. I'm like, I'll have to stop you right there because that's the whitest Chinese food you've ever eaten in your life is chicken balls. It's
very Americanized. I'll eat sushi and
love me some sushi.
Yeah, I like the what is it, the dragon roll with the eel and it's good. And then for me, I'm a picky eater anyway, so I don't eat all. I like hibachi. Hibachi is cool or whatnot. What is it? What is that place? Benny Ha. I used to call it Benny Ha Ha's. And somebody's like, it's Benny Ha. I said Benny Ha Ha's. That's what I called it. It's one over in Atlanta, over by this cupcake place that's not all that great. Cami Cakes. They're too rich. They will mess your stomach up. They're too rich. I don't
like a lot of rich stuff either. Man.
Yeah. I'm lactose intolerant, but I can do cheese. I can do frozen yogurt, Greek yogurt. But when it comes to milk, I have to take a lactate pill or either I drink almond milk anyway.
I started drinking almond milk in the past few months. I feel because I'm still a kid, man. I love eating cereal. I know. but I like to have like a bowl of Shreddies or Captain Crunch, you know, because it just you just didn't watch the news or watch a show on Netflix before the kids wake up. And yeah, man, I've been eating. My wife bought almond milk, and then I started buying it. Man, it's a godsend.
You gotta be careful though, because this one company, they got caught up. It was actually real milk in it.
Oh wow.
And I stopped using theirs like a Lowe's. I was like, something ain't right about this milk. But no, I'm about to start making my own almond milk. Like, I'm gonna make some.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do that. Yeah,
we got the time now, man, with things.
Yeah.
You know, here we're getting a third wave here. Like they're predicting here in Ontario that by April, if the numbers keep going up again, that we're gonna have like 6,000 a day people getting like.
But I thought y'all numbers were good, like they were down.
They're down right now, but they're starting to creep back up. And you know, my thing is this: that we should have done, if we would have all done what Australia has done in like we wouldn't be in this predicament right now. None of us.
I agree. People weren't listening. I mean, people were running around willy-nilly.
And the problem is that everybody, what's happened in the world, people were always racist. People were always bigoted. People were always conspiracy to the point of like, you're just like, you've lost your sense of reality. But what the pandemic has done, and what, you know, not to get into politics, but what the 4 years and 5 years of this, you know, what Trump did, he just exposed everybody for what they were. He just opened the floodgates for it.
He did what President Obama did. With President Obama, he empowered people for positivity, and he did the reverse. He empowered people's negativity and ignorance.
Exactly.
And hatred. Yeah.
Exactly. So you know, with the pandemic, it's like if you have if you fall and you cut yourself really bad and you need stitches, you know, what the governments did even here was, okay, throw a little alcohol on and put a Band-Aid. No, it needs stitches.
Yeah. And they didn't think it was a big deal, because I remember being in California during like around the time when Kobe passed away, and I seen several people with masks on. I always wear masks to the airport because that fake air, I have allergies, and like, I don't want you coughing on me. But when I seen like 50 or more people in a layover in Atlanta wearing them, I was like, no. And then this lady was like, oh, you can just take your mask off, ma'am. I think y'all are overreacting. I looked at her like, you need to do the job that you get paid to do. Don't worry about me wearing my mask.
I read a report in Australia recently. They got one case, and they shut the city down for 7 days because of what
they should have shut they should have shut it down forever and just paid people money and kept it moving.
Right. But what they did was they did this in Australia because for 7 days, right? And now they're back to not wearing masks and being okay. Now, when another case happens, they shut it down again. But since the jump, they've all been like, I know this girl I went to high school with who lives in Australia. All the pictures are she's at a restaurant, she's out and about, she's enjoying. They're like, there's no, what they did was 2 weeks like lockdown, like, you know, flights are if you're coming in a flight, you're being escorted off by military, and you're put in a hotel whether you like it or not for 14 days. Because look what happened here. They said, well, we got our first 2 variants, UK variants. Now 40% of our COVID is the variant, because they didn't do their job. They didn't do their job, and we would have been out of this already. It's frustrating.
The vaccination is there by I think May something. They're making it to where everybody can like get it or something. I mean, if you travel, you gotta get it. That's the messed up part. So I'm like, dang. If anything, I've been researching the Johnson & Johnson one, and I've heard good things about it. And I'm like, okay, I'll get it. But I really don't want to take it. I just really don't. I want to wait until enough people have gotten it.
I'm the same way. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Like First Lady Michelle, she got it.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know. I want to see enough people get that because I don't trust. I just
If we see First Lady doing this, then we know we should wait. When she's doing a book tour, she's like, "I'd like to thank everybody. I'm so good to be here. I'm really excited about my new book.
Oh, God.
I think we're like, oh shit, I ain't doing that.
No. I'm just funny about that. Like, and to them, I'm dosing up on my green smoothies with kale and my black seed oil, my elderberry, black elderberry liquid, and I got lounges, and I drink ginger with ginger, lemon, honey, and water with garlic. Like if I feel an itch in my throat, I drink that.
Yeah. I drink a gin and tonic. That's my
No, but I've had garlic too. Like it sounds gross. I've had like,
and I drink my water. Honestly. Yeah.
Cutting cloves, like garlic cloves, and having it like hot water with lemon and cloves. Honestly, if you feel like cold coming, because now you're paranoid.
It's like Theraflu. It's like a Theraflu. Yep, it works.
Yes. Now it's like paranoia setting.
Well, every little symptom is considered a COVID symptom now.
Yeah.
You got diarrhea, it's COVID. You got a headache, it's COVID. You took your pants last night, it's COVID. No,
couldn't pay your bills,
it's COVID. It's like
everybody is making they're getting over on something.
I'm waiting for Damon and Wayne to go. No credit, no problem. No minute, no problem. Remember when
COVID?
Problem.
No problem.
You know, it's like,
honestly, man.
Oh, you got a bit of a sore throat? It's COVID. No, it's not COVID.
It makes people paranoid.
It makes you paranoid, yeah.
Like, we've been able to do a lot of good.
And people are too close to you too. That's another thing. Like, why you got to be that close to somebody like that? Like,
yeah, even in the grocery store, like you don't have to be right here.
No personal space at all. Like,
remember, don't be a menace while drinking. While drinking your juice in the hood. Ramon's like, break yourself.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it when the missiles. Do we have a problem?
And I feel like I'm in the grocery store.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get like mad at an old woman or an old man who's in their 80s, but like, yo, chill. Like people are trying to and I turn around and they get the point.
I swear, like the masks don't really help either because people breath be smelling as well. You can smell people's bad breath. Like, yeah, that's what somebody said. I said, oh my God, that's horrible.
The good thing about the mask for me, I've been able to do a lot of break and entries, and no one's been able to find out. But we want to get back to the one thing for us is the pandemic. Obviously it's been a very dark.
The traveling, it's messed up the world for music.
It's messed up the world,
Yeah.
The silver lining for music is that people are glued to we're able to do this. We're able to people are able to listen to music more. We've been able to connect with artists that we might not have connected with before because they're checking their emails more. They're checking things more. But now we're at a stage where we need to get back on some planes and do some
concerts and stuff. Like I'm missing my concerts. That's what I'm like. I need to go to my concerts.
We got video shoots that we have to do. We have studios that we want to get into in LA, New York, even in Atlanta. And it's like now it's like, all right, hurry up, let's get this shit because we got to now.
Gotcha.
To move to getting because there's only so much you could do like this.
True.
Where you want to be able to physically be in a studio with cats. And so many of the artists that we've worked with over the year have been like, all right, man, when are you coming down? Well, when this shit's over, because right now the borders are closed and, the bigger percentage of people getting off these flights are getting COVID. So,
yeah, that's a lot of people are getting that. So where can we all find you at?
Yeah. You know what?
Well, I don't want to give away my personal address.
1-800. No. 1-800.
1-876-8585. Remember those talk, we used to call.
Yeah.
But we're not, man. 80 Empire.
80 Empire.
On
80.
Instagram. 80
number
Empire. 80. Yeah, 80 EMPIRE on Facebook, Instagram. On Twitter, it's 80
Empire _. And yeah, hit us up, DM us. We're always here to chat and
Gladiator Records as well.
Yep.
All the same thing at Gladiator Records.
And just support indie music. You know, I think that's the important thing is to support indie projects, you know, and support music, support art, support podcasts, support everything.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. Gio.
Well, thank you. It's been so nice. I'm not gonna hold y'all because like it could go on and on and on. Cause I know y'all heard of like I had a 4-hour one that didn't intend it went on.
Wow.
Yeah.
You like to talk like us, man. We love to talk.
When the world opens up, D, you come to Niagara, we'll come to DC and we'll
Okay.
you know.
Sounds good.
We'll sit there at a restaurant DC and criticize the food.
I'll just tell it's one restaurant. If you want to ever get out of work, go to Johnny Rockets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You'll be sick for like 2 weeks. It'll knock you out.
Yeah.
If you want to lose weight, that's what I do. Go to one of those.
Go to Johnny Rockets or go to certain. Well, it's not bad everywhere, but certain ones I don't mess with.
Yeah.
It was one in Atlanta that was horrible. Ugh.
Yeah. Damn. Listen, D, be safe, man.
Thank you. You too. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being a guest.
Yeah.
Thank you to Katrina.
Yes.
For booking this. We'll schedule everything. Thank you and setting it up.
Okay.
Enjoy your weekend.
You too. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Don't you love the endings of this? Because for a few seconds, it just kind of stop the thing. You're like,
well, I gotta hit it. No, I normally say so. Stay tuned for tomorrow. I have my guest G Fly from Minivision and Shy at 7 p.m. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Y'all have a great night and take care. Thank you.